Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 355. It's Sunday, 9:20. This is one of my later shows. I slept in. I was up late last night. We did Hobby Roundtable last night. You can check out the replay on 3B Collections channel. Um, we had Herman on there, George and Dan, Korean Cardboard and KBO Collections. We had Uncle Rich Klein. We had Kin, Bean's Ball Card Blog. We had Peeps. Am I missing? I think I'm missing one person. We had some people check in and check out. Trying to go through. But 3B Collections channel, check that out. Talked hobby. We touched on the top stuff. I gave my opinions on everything on Friday's show. And I think some of the other guys talked about it. Hobby Hotline had an episode yesterday morning with their thoughts and opinions. I have not yet watched that, but after I cut this video, I'm going to do some eBay packaging and turn on the Hobby Hotline. So good stuff. What's up, Herman? Herman's with us this morning. So after the show, I listed some stuff on eBay. Some of the I picked up some beater vintage cards just kind of switch up my inventory, just not switch up, but just kind of add some vintage to my eBay store inventory, where it's not going to be a big, it's going to be very slim margins on the flip, but it adds, a lot of my stuff is newer, modern stuff, so it adds, some vintage that may, bring some people in that otherwise wouldn't find my eBay store. So it's more of a gimmick is a bad word to use, but kind of a gimmick to bring in a different stream of traffic to the eBay store. So I picked up, I don't know, maybe 20 vintage beaters. I showed some off in last night's show, a really banged up and cut Duke Snyder 54 tops, a 71 tops Thurman Munson, that iconic card. In Eddie Yost 49 Bowman, a couple of Peytons, 83 sticker Peyton, 78 tops in action Peyton. So just some random stuff that I kind of want to, spread out in the eBay store. People looking for, some of those vintage star players can find it. So that's kind of the strategy behind that. So wasn't for the flip. There wasn't, I didn't bring it in, but Fred Bazewski at the same table. He had like the tubs of the vintage. So I had a pile. He was with another customer. So I looked, and he had another tub of just like magazines. And normally I don't go for some of that stuff. But there were a couple Cubs pocket schedules from the 70s. So that caught my eye. So I start, flipping through, and at the very back, he had a binder. And the front page of the binder had a baseball reference printed out page. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And then I look below, and there's it looks like a contract. So I'm like, well, this isn't, because that's right up my alley. If it's a Cubs item, if the player played for the Cubs at some point, that's right up my alley. I love that kind of stuff. It was a voter registration for Fred Bazewski, who the name sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember if he played for the Cubs. So I flipped over the sheet, and it had his stats from his career, and he played 9 games for the 1953 Cubs. And so this was his voter registration for the state of California, signed. So it was cheap. So I picked that up. There was some other cool stuff, not Cubs in there though, but so I picked that up and then bought the vintage. He gave me a nice deal. So that was one piece of the Wisconsin Dells card show, which I'll go into in review here in just a second. Zach, what's up? Good morning. Was watching the Hobby Roundtable. Nice seeing George back. Yes, it was. It was awesome seeing George. George even mentioned in the show last night, he kind of takes the summer off, and he's a winter collector. So we'll be seeing more George as the winter approaches. So that's good. What's up, Diego? Diego was in the chat with us last night. Dan is with us this morning. Good morning. Good evening to you, sir. Late start. Yeah, I had a few beers during the Hobby Roundtable, and then I stayed up, and Dirty Bo this morning. Yeah. clean shave, not shaven, hoodie, messy hair. um, so yeah, I stayed up and I listed a few things on eBay, and so I stayed up later than usual. Plus, I was up at 5 a.m. yesterday morning, just in excitement. Well, excitement for the show as well as trying to get a bunch of eBay shipments out because, like I mentioned in yesterday's show, I'm trying to double my eBay store inventory. So I'm really trying to hammer the listings. I didn't get as many done yesterday. I probably only listed a dozen things yesterday. Um, so um, I lost my train of thought, but that's, I'm trying to double up the inventory and was up early, shipping out eBay stuff because I did a bulk upload. So I had more sales than usual, with that, sudden influx of new cards. Zach says I took 30 years off, so a summer is acceptable. Who shaves on Sunday anyway? Absolutely. I probably won't even shave on Monday. I probably won't shave this week. Who knows? Are you telling us what you bought at the show? I sure am. So first I want to, before I do show and tell, and you saw some of this stuff. There's one vintage card that you haven't seen, because I didn't tweet it out and I don't think I showed it last night. And then just some random. You saw the vintage I bought, and then just some random. I didn't find too many deals. Bo, don't forget the starter guide for card shows for dummies blog. Oh, yes. I need to write that down. Card shows. Hey, Diego. Card show for dummies. I did forget. I apologize. Diego, shoot me some questions in the chat, that I can address in this blog, and I'll whip something up. Plus I have the show, my show in Madison is this coming Saturday. So, it'll give me kind of although I've been at shows like every weekend for the last 4 weeks, it's always when it's on top of mind awareness, I can really write things down and really feel it, get the moment awareness. So I went to the Wisconsin Dells card show yesterday. Was super excited for it, even though it was a game time decision. Even Nick, who he's set up at a couple of my shows here in Madison. I bumped into him yesterday at a booth. He goes, I thought you weren't coming. And I said, yeah, it was kind of a game day decision. I made the decision on, I think, Thursday, where it's just like, we didn't have plans. My wife has to work all day today doing showing. She's in real estate. So I knew we wouldn't do like a weekend thing. So I'm like, I'm just going to go to the Dell show. Otherwise, I'm just going to be, either riding my bike, which I probably need it, haven't ridden in a while, or, sitting in my basement listing cards on eBay. So it's good to get out. So I made that decision. Went to the show yesterday. Was really excited. For the point being, my buddy Mark actually set up a table, and he's got some really cool stuff. He's got like a Bobby Orr rookie. He's got a Peyton rookie that's really nice. I think it's 7.5. I think PSA 7, or wait, PSA doesn't do half grades, so I can't remember what. Maybe it's a PSA 7. I can't remember, but he's got a Peyton rookie that's fairly high grade. He's got he's got a Jerry Garcia check. He's a deadhead. He's got some really cool stuff. So he was setting up. He's like, hey, and he talked to Johnny and I. Johnny's my co-promoter. They don't do 9.5. Okay, do they do half grades like on the lower? So do they do like a 7.5? Because I thought it was a PSA and I thought it was a half grade. Because he wanted to do a deal for a PSA 8, but he actually likes his better. So maybe if they do, yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking. So he's like, you guys can hang out, be at my booth. If I need to, walk the floor or something, maybe you can babysit my table, drop your bag off, which was awesome. And I didn't buy like the last show. I know I've seen 1.5s. Okay. At the last show, I bought like a monster box of basketball rookies, and then I had to haul them out and it's like through the convention center, out the hall, long hallway, out into the parking lot. So I mean, it's like a 20-minute trip. You're wasting, yeah, it's only 20 minutes, but you're trying to really maximize your time spent shopping, right? So, I didn't want to, have to carry something out. So it's nice to have that. So it was great. So what I did was I had this, my big heavy backpack, and I had it, and then I'm just like, after I went to the first bargain box, I'm like, I'm just gonna drop this off and then just walk the floor. And so I'd walk to a table, dig through a bargain box, buy a small box of cards. I'd take it back to Mark's table, drop it off, and head back out and do some more shopping. So it was awesome. And got to hang out and just shoot the bull, talk cards all day. So it was a lot of fun. I'm glad he bought the table. I'm glad he spent his money on the table so I could just hang out at it. So I was really excited just to do that and see people. I saw a lot of vendors from that have set up in the past and continue to set up at my show. So I was able to, to talk to those guys and, remind them that our show's coming up this Saturday. Most of them are coming up, coming back to set up. Some have some conflict. So just great to get to, network and talk to other vendors, pass the card around. So first off, before I get into like my shopping, I just kind of want to set the scene. So it's in the Wisconsin Dells. It's at the Kalahari Resort in their convention center. They had a show in May, 3-day show, and the May show was phenomenal. So now the show in May was also during the time where mask mandates had not, like, I think it was right before the CDC came out and said we can lift the mask mandates. So my county we're back under a mask mandate. We're, pretty, if we're going to be like the first county that starts inducing those. Wisconsin Dells, not so much. They're going to be one of the last counties. If you get my drift. So there was few shows were just getting, popped up. So there was a lot of really good energy in the May show. You're going into summer. So the weather's getting warmer. You're taking off the mask. It's, everybody's happy. We're going looking for cards. And it was kind of the opposite this weekend. It was kind of like, it's back to school. Summer's over. We have to put masks back on. There was no mask mandate, but like my county is, and others in the area. So it's almost like it's like almost in reverse from where we were at in May. Like COVID cases are up, where in May they were down. Masks were coming off. Masks now are going back on. Summer was beginning. Summer is now ending, and you could feel that energy was not good yesterday. Overall, that's just the sense I got when I walked in. It was just like there's a huge lobby, which is awesome. The setting is beautiful for a 3-day show. It's awesome. And as I'm walking in, I could just feel that, not negative energy, just the hangover energy. When you have a hangover and it's just like, you don't feel good, but you don't feel bad. You're just kind of zombie-like. And it's just like, oh, here we go again, another card show. And it was that people were zapped. There was not negative energy in the room, but there wasn't the overwhelming positive energy that I witnessed in May that everybody had. So I could feel that right away. I could feel the energy was down. The traffic was way down. I could not believe how different the traffic attendance was. There were more vendor tables, I think. I think they opened up another small section. So there was actually more tables. And it didn't feel like that to me. But again, I'm just coming off, we're just coming off the National 3 weeks ago. So, maybe I still have that in mind. Although I did do a small gym show last week. So it didn't feel like there was a lot more tables. And that could be because there was not as many people. So it just kind of looked, there wasn't a huge amount of people walking around. Um, so that was my biggest takeaway was attendance was way down and energy was way down. And I think we are in a hobby hangover. Now, I'm not dooming and glooming the hobby. I think it's just a natural dip right now because we are coming off the National 3 weeks ago, and Wisconsin Dells is only a few hours from Chicago. There's a lot of other card shows popping up, which is both good and bad. So people are still out spending money. You just may not see it because everybody's not going to this one show. They're going to these 5 shows. So it very well likely could be the same amount of people in May that are at card shows, but they're just choosing different shows to go to. They're not all descending upon the Wisconsin Dells. They're going to Madison and Rockford and Appleton and Milwaukee, where I think those shows were still going on. But there's just a lot of other shows popping up. And I see them like almost on a weekly basis, like another new show. Oh, this area hasn't had a show. And well, the show Brad went to in Texas hadn't had a show in like a decade or so. So there's just everywhere across the country, there's new shows popping up that, people that want to go to a show, say it's in that town, there hasn't been a show within 2 hours, they're going to go there. They're going to stop going to the show that's 2 hours away, the next show over or whatnot. So I don't think it's a doom and gloom. I think it's just a natural. It's just kind of natural that with other shows, it's going to pull people away from the other shows. And it's that time where, when I mentioned this on Hobby Roundtable last night, that in May, it was towards the end of May that the Dells did their show. So people were, school was out or, they were taking long weekends, vacation, taking the family because it's a resort. So dad can go to set up at the show or walk the floor. Mom and the kids can go to the water park or vice versa. Mom can be at the show with the kids, dad's at the water park, whatever. But the whole family can enjoy it, whatever their thing is, if it's cards or if it's the water park. So, I think that we're now schools, I see back to school pictures on Facebook. So people are going back to school. They're not going to go with school starting this week or maybe last week. They're not going to go to the water park. That's just not something that I see a lot of families, maybe some, but a majority, it's just not going to be a destination. So I think that's another reason why traffic was significantly down from May, was just the timing of it all. And that's tough because we had the National 3 weeks ago in Chicago, 3.5 hours away from the Dells. So, that's tough. Next year may be different. If they do a similar schedule, the National is in Atlantic City, which is a flight away. So a lot of you, right now, I don't plan on going to the National. So next year. So, the Dells could be my big show where I save up all July to spend money at the Wisconsin Dells show. I'm going to go back to the chat here because I'm going to switch gears and talk about what I found. So yes, going back to Dan. So I'm in the same county as Madison. I'm like, I could probably throw. I'm in a weird part. Like I'm on the far west side of Madison, but Madison. I have City of Madison services. I'm in the Madison school district. I have a Verona mailing address, and across the street has a Middleton mailing address in Middleton School District. So it's in this weird, just weird area, weird pocket. So yeah, we are in Dane County. So Diego asked, card-wise, how do you know your inventory is worth taking to a show? That's a great question. Diego's addressing some of the tips for card show for dummies. I like that. Dan said, forgot who said it, unsure if they were kidding, but they didn't think COVID will ever end and we'd be taking booster shots the rest of our lives. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of theories going on about that. And I think I read a similar article about that it's never going to be basically never be fully eradicated. It's just going to be kind of, and I don't even want to go down this road talking about COVID, but I'm going to touch on it Um, and I hate when it's compared to the flu. I just hate that because it's not the flu. It's completely different. But I'm going to do the comparison slightly where, the flu, there are, strains of the flu that, can kill people, just like COVID. There are strains of COVID that people, just get sick and get over it, kind of like the flu. Most of us get the flu, we get sick, we feel like absolute garbage for a couple days, and then we recover. And maybe that's what's going to happen with COVID. I don't know. Um, Zach's going to be getting a piece of mail. That's awesome. End of summer can bring on sadness for people either in or outside the hobby. That's absolutely. I don't like fall because it's I love summer so much that this time of year, and I've talked about it. I've already like given up on my outdoor hobbies. I haven't rode my bike in a while because I'm just like preparing for winter. Like I'm like squirreling, I'm like a squirrel preparing for winter, getting all my instead of nuts, it's baseball cards, getting everything prepared for the winter, being stuck inside. So I totally get that. Um, and I should be the opposite, and I should take advantage of all this because winters in Wisconsin are long. Ken, what's up? I've never been on Facebook, less than I am these days, and thankfully I miss all the back to school pics. Hey, I'd rather have the back to school pics than the all of the political talk and the COVID talk. And we've got people on our face. So we have a Facebook for our card show. People are complaining about people not wearing masks, and we're in a mask mandate. So if you're indoors, you've got to wear a mask. And if people don't like that, don't come. If you're afraid other people are not going to be wearing masks, don't come. If you're gonna, if you're gonna be about it, I don't want you there. I don't want to deal with the drama. So if you're gonna be dramatic on either side, I don't care if it's about wearing masks or if it's about other people not wearing masks. I don't want to hear it. Just deal with it. You're gonna be there for an hour or 2 hours, no matter where you're at. If it's at the grocery store or if it's the card show, just abide by the frickin' rules. It's a stupid mask. Here I am getting on my soapbox. I think it sucks. I'm going to be the first person to say I didn't wear a mask at the Dell show yesterday. And then I come back to get my beer at Quick Trip and I walk up to the door. Oh crap. Because I'm in a different county. Now I've got to put the damn mask on. So I hate it just as much as everybody else that hates the masks, but I'm going to put it on. I'm going to abide by the rules. It's not going to kill me. It's not going to hurt me to put the damn mask on for 30 seconds while I get my Bud Light, or for an hour if you're coming to the card show as a visitor and looking at cards. It's not going to hurt you. If somebody else is not wearing a mask and you're offended by that, get away from them or leave if you're not comfortable in that setting. I don't know why people all of a sudden think one day, snap of the fingers, Wednesday we could walk all over the place indoors without a mask, and then all of a sudden at midnight you've got to put the mask on. I get it, like there's got to be that, but for people to think that it's okay yesterday and all of a sudden if I don't wear this mask I'm gonna get COVID, I don't get it. Now I'm on my soapbox, so I apologize. Back to the cards. I'm gonna show off, not get in his face. COVID is like addiction. Some people can have a drink, no problem whatsoever. Some people cannot have one without getting out of control because it impacts so differently. It polarizes feelings. It does. It does. And I try to stay out of it. I'm just going to, if I have to wear a mask, I'm going to wear the mask. I don't like it, but I'm going to do it. If it's the difference between, and I talked about this earlier, if it's the difference of baseball having crowds and having people in attendance and me having the ability to go to Wrigley Field, if I have to wear the mask, I'd rather wear the stupid mask than, not have that option of even going where it's closed to the public. Dan's second shot scheduled for September 3rd. That's awesome. Here we're now talking booster shots, I think. I can't remember. but I think the elderly are eligible soon, and I think next month. So I had mine in April, and I can't remember Moderna what, because I think each vaccine has different lifespans or whatever. So I think this fall, booster shots will be available. So let's talk cards. I showed this off on Twitter. This was I'm just gonna throw the best card out first. Frank Chance, beautiful card, red background, SGC one. It looks great for a one. I don't know if you can really, sweet capital on the back. Um, but it's just like it's a really pretty one. I really like it. Frank Chance. I Here's how disorganized my collection is. I don't even know what I have for tobacco and pre-war. I think I have a Johnny Evers T206, but I'm not sure. I know I have a Tinker. My Joe Tinker is raw, so I'm going to send that into SGC soon. Um, this I showed this off on Hobby Roundtable because I had to ask Uncle Rich if he knew or was aware of Charles Bray, because I didn't know, but it's denoted on the slab, the Charles Bray collection. Jake Feaster. This is a PSA 2. I wish all my, and this is a sweet capital back also. I want all of my tobacco cards to be in SGC slabs because A, I like SGC slabs, and then B, when I put like my pre-war together, I like them all to be the same. So I don't like them jumping around. But when you're dealing with pre-war, it's just like if I find a good deal, I just want to buy it. So those were the two tobacco cards. This was actually the first card I saw at his booth. Lynn Nelson, 1934 Gaudi. This is in really nice condition. I'll submit this to SGC also, just to have it slabbed. I pulled it out, and this was, I hate when booths don't have prices, but I'm okay on certain things, like when it comes to vintage. No, there was no prices on these, so if it's a box, there was another box. My Nick, who I ran into at one box, I'm like, how much? What are the prices on these? He's like, oh, it's all over. It's like, well, I don't want to pull a stack of cards and it ended up being $600. So I kind of looked through to see if there was anything that really caught my eye. There wasn't, not knowing the prices. If they were all $1, I probably would have sat there for 2 hours. But if they were all over the board, I'm not going to, waste my time. But something like this was the first card I saw at his booth. I'm like, what do you have on this Lynn Nelson? And so he had to do the comps, which is okay. When it comes to vintage, if it's a huge monster box that he's doing and you're doing comps, I hate that. But he's like, I'm curious why the Nelson. So then I told him, I'm like, well, I'm trying to collect a million Cubs cards. I'm focusing on pre-war right now on purchases, and I don't have this card. And I really like this set, this 34 Gaudi set, and it was like $20. So I thought that was a good deal. He gave me a good deal on the slabs. So that was awesome. He's based out of Naperville. So that was good. So that was my big purchase. I didn't anticipate. I was looking for pre-war, but it wasn't something I thought I would find. There was the table next to him had like a bunch of Babe Ruth Gaudi slabs, which was really nice. I'm glad I'm not a 1 million Yankees collector trying to collect all the Yankees cards, because, well, I'm not trying to collect all the Cubs cards, but I do like these pre-war because the 52 mantle, the Babe Ruths, don't have that kind of bank account. So the first booth I went to was my friends down in Freeport, Illinois, the Jennings Card Shop. I've gone down there a couple times to dig through. They have some of the best bargain boxes. By the way, speaking of the best bargain boxes, the Singles Club wasn't there. Well, he was there, was not set up, but Chris from the Singles Club was there. He said they did a cannonball run from North Dakota, 9-hour drive, drove like overnight. They stayed in a hotel like an hour out of the Dells, got a few hours of sleep, drove the rest of the way. I could tell he was exhausted. And then they were driving back at Saturday afternoon. They were driving right back to North Dakota, 9-10 hour drive. So That's awesome. It was good to see him outside of the National, outside of being at the Singles Club, the dollar card booth. So that's what I love about card shows, just seeing people and developing those relationships of people you meet at other shows at the National and all that. So the Jennings booth, I love. Um, I could tell it was a little picked over from other times I've gone, because usually I can pull a couple hundred cards and there's um, several that I can flip for like 10, 15, even 20, $25. But it was pretty picked over. And I think what happened was I think a lot of it was picked over from the National, and it's only been a few weeks. So it was just the leftovers. But there was still some good stuff. Like, I think the best card I pulled, and these are all 50 cents. It was a Carlos Rodon Bowman Chrome blue refractor rookie, numbered to 150. So for 50 cents, that's a heck of a deal. This probably sells for $10 to $15. So this was probably my best pull. And sometimes I'll pull cards that I think have decent flip value, and have better flip value than I expect. Like that Rodon, I could flip it for a couple bucks. And that's kind of my goal is, okay, if I see a 50-cent card, if I can sell this for $3, it's worth it in volume. So this is not going to be flipped. Well, it's going to be flipped, but in trade, this is going to Ken. He's looking for those buybacks and rediscover tops. So this is Jim Crawford from 76 tops on the 75th anniversary. So he goes in the trade pile. I bought a bunch of this guy in like a 25-cent box at the National, Yordis Valdez, and I've sold a bunch of the base chromes. I've sold a bunch. So this is the refractor version. So I've been selling his base chrome for $1.50. So I figure I could probably get $3 or $4 for the refractor version. This is a Cub Chase Strumpf prism. I don't know what, I have to go back and look because there's like 75 different prism colors. Yazel Antuna. It's a first chrome refractor, numbered to 150. And it's from 2017. So it's kind of outside that range of guys where usually 3 years is that good window. Anybody within the last 3 years has that potential. But once you get outside that 3-year window, it's pretty slim for guys to pop up in the big leagues and excel. This is a Cole Tucker Select Prism. This is numbered to 199. So I figured that's worth a couple bucks. Here's a Abraham Toro. Now I sell his chrome rookies for $1.50. So this is his refractor rookie, again, kind of like the Valdez. I kind of know the market based on the base sells for this amount, so I know I can sell that for more. Here's a Wander Javier. This is numbered to 150, die cut Elite Extra Edition. I've heard some rumblings about his potential. Here's a Justin Bour blue chrome refractor, numbered to 150 for the Cubs, going to the Cubs collection. Austin Beck, numbered to 150. This is paper. These were all in the 50-cent box. Dylan Bundy, I just sold his first Bowman for like $2. So this is his first Bowman parallel, numbered to 499. So I figured this is a good flip. Another Cub. This is numbered to 200 from Elite Extra Edition, Alex Lang. I don't think he's with the team anymore. I think he's in the Detroit system. Willie Adames, he's had a pretty good year with the Brewers. This is numbered to 250, purple version, Topps Finest. Another Prism, red or whatever, James Norwood, pitcher for the Cubs. Freudis Nova. This is a Bowman Platinum, numbered to 250. This is probably just a dollar card. I don't think that'll sell for much. Just kind of took a flyer on this. This is from 2012, Elite Extra Edition, Carlos Correa. Another Correa from Leaf, 2013. And those probably won't, small margin flip value. There was a stack of maybe 10 of these mini framed Allen and Ginter. And I'm like, man, I hope there's a Cub in here. And there was. Rich Hill was like the last one. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. 10th anniversary. These are just really nice cards. Love those. Wilson Contreras, just a foil. Kevin Maitan, he was like the Ronald Acuna, in the same year as Ronald Acuna. And then there were some tampering charges with the Braves, and he got signed by the Angels, and he just really hasn't. So he was born in 2000, so he's 21 now. So he's still young, so there's still potential. That's a refractor, atomic refractor. And I actually sold Kevin Maitan's first Bowman Chrome recently for $3. So I know there's still some Kevin Maitan value there. Ramel Tapia, he's having a good year for the Rockies. This is his rookie number to 150. I think he's on the IL right now. He's on my fantasy team that really sucks. But he's having a good year. Richard Urena, rookie, number to 150. Figured a number to 150 rookie Chrome is a good buy for 50 cents. Grant Mcrae, I had like 16 Bowman Chrome firsts base of him that all sold for $1.50. One guy bought like 14 of them. I sold a couple singles, and then one guy bought the rest. So this is the refractor version. So I'm guessing I can move that. Andre Dawson, what I like about this is that, look at what it's numbered to. Numbered to 1987, the year that he won the NL MVP. So David Ortiz always sells well. This is a refractor from 2013, Topps Chrome. Herman says, I hate how the minis are always out of center inside the frames. Yeah, that does suck. Monet Davis, I just kind of took a flyer on that. First pitch Chrome. I miss the first pitch inserts. Those are really cool. Aroldis Chapman having a good year. I've sold a couple of his first Bowmans for a few bucks in the last couple months. His Heritage rookie. Another Cub. He was the big, my very first couple breaks I entered was in 2000. What year is this? 2014. So yeah, probably 2013 or 14. And Arizmendi Alcantara was like the big hit when you got the Cubs. So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Oh, wrong pile. He's in the Cubs pile. Kyle Hendricks, that's numbered to 303. So when I'm in the bargain boxes, I'm not looking for all Cubs. I'm looking for, when it comes to 50-cent boxes, dollar boxes, and even quarter boxes, I'm only looking for numbered short prints, refractors, and that, especially if I don't have them. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to Cubs cards in these bargain boxes. Jose Salas, first Bowman Chrome. This is this year, so for 50 cents, I'll take it. Max Fried, silver. I think this is silver ice. So I thought that was a good buy for 50 cents. Here's another Kevin Maitan refractor. Those are thick. Is there just one card in there? Yeah, that's a thick card. Kevin Maitan, atomic refractor. Ken, another rediscovered Topps. Jim Rice. So that's going in the trade pile to Ken. Jim Rice rediscovered Topps from 1988. The throat 10 years, turn back the clock. I forgot I found that one for you. Rylan Bannon, first Bowman, numbered to 499, just the paper version from 2019. And here's another Max Fried refractor. That's a 2014 also. I really don't know what is a good buy in the 50-cent boxes for basketball. I just kind of know where I'm at on some of the newer rookies. But this is a select Prism rookie for Tony Mitchell. I don't know anything about him, but I'm like, for 50 cents, I'll just take a flyer. Who knows? So that's just half of the Jennings box. So there was actually some, now that I go back through, some of the stuff I find, it's like, oh, that's really, really good. Ronald Acuna gold label. That's a class 2. So that's actually better than class 1. Here's Patrick Wisdom, Prism rookie, numbered to 399. He's having a great year for the Cubs. This is actually, because it's a Texas card, he's going in the eBay pile, not the Cubs pile, even though he's with the Cubs now. He's in the Rangers. Some Will Clark rookies, couple Don Russ, and a Fleer update. So for 50 cents. I was looking for the Randy Johnson because I bought like 15 or 20 89 Fleer Randy Johnsons from his boxes at the National, and two of them had the Marlboro in the background that I sold for like 25 bucks each. Um, so I was like, that's kind of the mission. I'm like, because I knew I passed on some. I only found one, and it was the black box version, which is just a dollar card. So, and I have like 15 of them. Here's a Derek Jeter. I think this is a short print. I think this is an image variation along with this. So the short prints on the image variations aren't, they're a couple bucks, but it's Jeter. So it might be a $4 or $5 card. Dan's going to bed. Have a great Sunday. Thank you, Dan. Have a good night. Here's a Matt Chapman purple chrome refractor, numbered at 250. Dane Acker, first chrome refractor. Is this a refractor? No, this is just, I picked up some Zach Collins. I picked up 4 of them. Zach Collins, first chromes. He had like 20 of these, and I'm like, I'll buy 4 of them. Looks like this is an X, either Prism or X. Oh, this is a Prism. Prism refractor, Baez. There were a few Adley Rushmans. Here's a Crusade. These sell for a couple bucks, $2-3. A couple Yordan Alvarez chromes. These were selling for like $5 a while ago, and I don't know what they sell for now. But I figured for 50 cents each. This is a rookie National Baseball card. There were a ton of Topps Yordan Alvarez rookies. I've got a few that are still sitting in my eBay stores, so I only took a flyer on this one. Here's a Chris Bryant and a Javi Baez for the Cubs stack. Let's see. Eloy Jimenez, that's going in the trade pile for Mike. The camo parallel. What else? Odubel Herrera. Is that a Future Stars? Future Stars. This is numbered to 75. Otherwise, I would have passed on that. But I looked on the back, and it's like, oh, wow, that's numbered to 75. Mickey Mantle Heritage insert. He had a bunch of those, and I pulled one just to see. Madison Bumgarner, Upper Deck rookie. Here's some more Adley Rushmans, All-Americans. And I actually pulled a couple of these at the National and sold them for $2 or $3. So I know those can sell. Jose Altuve. I do move a lot of Altuve, surprisingly. Refractor numbered to $4.99. Here's a Yu Darvish Gold Cup refractor, and he's having a good year. Rainbow foil Mookie Betts. Another Javi for the Cubs pile, yellow from Don Russ. This is a Prism, some type of blue Prism, Austin Martin. Heck, for 50 cents, that's a deal. This is a Yordan Alvarez refractor, second-year card. And I think I pulled, let's see, I see this one on top. I know there was a couple more. Yeah, so I bought 3 Carlos Correa rookies. I think these sell for like $5. So 50 cents each on those. Owen Casey. Oh, shit. Pardon my language. Owen Casey, blue Prism. He's with the Cubs. He came over in the Darvish trade. Luis Severino refractor. And Acuna insert. Is that Big League? I think that's Big League. Buster Posey, numbered to 250. These were all in the 50-cent box. So I think now that I go back and I show these and I look at these, here's an Alex Kirilloff refractor. I think I did well. Cody Bellinger Bowman Platinum prospect card. This was the year before his rookie. His first pack pulled rookie was Bowman Platinum, 2017. Manny Machado paper numbered to 250. Here's a Nick Allen first chrome numbered to $3.99. Just a couple more. Jack Leiter foil from Stars and Stripes. I sold one of these for $6. I pulled out of a bargain box at the National, sold for $6. So another one bought for 50 cents. And then finally, I saw somebody looking for AJ Vukovich cards in a Facebook group, and I'm like, AJ Vukovich numbered to 249. Well, hey, if somebody's out looking for them, that means there might be something there. So that was from the Jennings box. I did pick up another box, actually, where I stole the idea of fill your box for $20. I filled a box. didn't get much. I packed it full because I only bought one this time. The last time I was there, I bought 3 boxes full. So got those for roughly 20 cents. Some basketball rookies in here, just some random baseball. See, this was a dime box. There's a guy with a dime box. Not much in the dime box, but of course, the cards I want to show are at the very bottom of this pile, and it's hard to get out. So his sign said world's best dime boxes. So I've got to say that marketing drew me in. And so I had to take a look to see what made these the world's best. I think there's probably better dime boxes out in the world than the one that he had, but I like the attempt, and it drew me in, and it made him $3 because I bought 30 cards. But what sucked me in, Raghib Ishmael, the Rocket CFL card from the Toronto Argonauts. That drew me in. And then there was a starting lineup, Raghib Ishmael. He was coming out like the same time I was really, really hitting high gear in my collecting in 1991. So I pulled some Cubs, actually more Cubs than, I pulled some stuff for Zach. So that'll be a surprise. Oh, kind of along the same lines as Raghib Ishmael was this Greg Jeffries. It looks cool. It's cool. I've never seen it, and it was 10 cents. So I bought it. 87 Donruss Kirby Puckett for a dime. Just some random, Vlad Guerrero Sr. rookie. I don't know if this is an actual rookie. The 90s were crazy with rookie cards, but a couple Chipper Jones, again, the same. I don't know if these were actual rookies or not, but same thing. For 10 cents, I'll take it. There's a Baker Mayfield Prism draft. So I'll take that all day for a dime. Jack Clark, one of those discs. So that was for 10 cents. Heck yeah. A couple of Griffies. Here's a score Griffey. So anytime I see Griffey or Bo Jackson in a dime box, I'm there because I know there's demand for those type of cards. I've been calling him Raghib Ishmael since '89. Am I wrong? You're probably right. I've always called him Raghib, and Raghib sounds much more correct than Raghib. So I've never heard that. I've just always called him Raghib Ishmael. But I bet Raghib is probably correct. This is crazy. I've never heard that, but I've never heard him called Raghib either. It's always been Rocket Ishmael. So, but now that it's spelled out, I think you're correct. So I'm just gonna show one the last box. I won't go through the box that I picked up because they're stuffed in there. But I bought these. So here's the interesting thing. Again, I was drawn in by a single row of cards. It was bargain boxes by sport, 25 cents or 100 for $20, which is basically the same as the fill your box. You get 20 cents per card when you buy in bulk. So what really drew me in was Allen and Ginter Chrome. There was some new stuff. There was a couple Julio Rodriguez Chromes. These sell for a couple bucks all day. There was some Stadium Club. This is my first Anthony Rizzo Stadium Club. His brother. So I called him Kadri, I think. I didn't. So I think I pronounced Rocket's name wrong, but I think a lot of people called him Quadri Ishmael, and I probably called him Quadri Ishmael early on, but then I think somebody said, oh, it's Kadri Ishmael. And Kadri, if that's how you pronounce it, he actually had a better NFL career because Rocket didn't. He went to the CFL, and then I think he played for the Cowboys briefly. But Rocket didn't. His brother, and then there was there was the Rocket. Kadri the missile, and then there was the bomb. There was another brother after Kadri. But yeah, that's going back. There was one row that drew me in with those chromes, the stadium clubs. So I pulled like 25 cards. I called him Quad like the muscle. And that's how I initially called him, Quadri Ishmael. And then I think somebody corrected me and said it's Cadre. So who knows? So I had 24 cards and I'm like, well, now I need to get 100. So I'm like, oh, well, if this row had, I'm going to be going to town. So I looked and then the rest was just like basically what I would put in 25-cent boxes. Like it's not really worth the flip on eBay. So now I'm just like, I'm working hard just to get 100 cards in my stack, just to take advantage. And I'm sure if I would have bought 90 cards, he would have said $18, whatever the 20-cent. That's what I do. It's like, okay, if you don't fill the box or if you buy 50 cards, I'll still charge you 20 cents. You bought enough, you spent enough time. But I just wanted to get to 100 just to do it. So it took me a while. I had to go through a ton of boxes, but I picked up stuff like 86 Donruss, Wade Boggs. I added a bunch of Cubs, stuff like this, Juan Soto Select. I'll put it in the eBay store for like $1.50. And I found some cool stuff like this. Dylan Maples is numbered to 299. He was a Cubs draft pick. Seager Silver Ice from Bowman Platinum. This isn't a Cubs card, but it'll go into an Anthony Rizzo collection. His MLB debut insert with the Padres. Jed Hosang from the Cubs rookie Topps Chrome Sapia. Hayden Simpson numbered to 599. He was a draft pick bust. Mattingly Chrome Ginter Mini. Couple of these inserts. This is what drew me, and I saw these, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then the rest was just kind of, random stuff. Oh, here's a blue foil Juan Soto. So there was some good stuff. So those were all 20 cents a piece. So that's my review of the Wisconsin Dells Card Show. It was a lot of fun. Saw some friends, new and old. Made some connections. Bought some cards. It was fun. So a day well spent in the Wisconsin Dells. You are correct, sir. It is Ragib. Interesting. Now who's right on the other one? Is it Cadre or Quadri? Ragib Ishmael. Interesting. So that's all for today. A long one today, almost an hour. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around if you did, and looking at the bargain box buys. Next show up here, dog footsteps. Got to take the dog out. Next Saturday is the Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. So check that out if you're in the area. I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow morning or not. Mondays are kind of always up in the air. But if I do, 6:45 a.m., I'll send out a tweet just beforehand. So thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful Sunday, and we'll talk later.